Welcome back to The Explainer. Let's jump right in. Today, we're using this flowing watercolor aesthetic to do something pretty sharp. We're objectively deconstructing the cosmic illusions of the Billy Meier Figu organization. It's actually a fascinating contrast, right? You've got these soft, ethereal visuals playing against the hard, incontrovertible evidence we're about to impact. We are looking at a classic case study in how extraordinary claims are built, maintained, and ultimately how they completely unravel. Here's our agenda for this deconstruction. 1. The light cult trap. 2. Dissecting the physical receipts. 3. The ex-wife's confession. 4. The prophecy loophole. And 5. The sunk cost fallacy. Section 1. The light cult trope. The Figu organization operates as what researchers call a light cult. On the surface, it presents itself using the sterile, really appealing language of quantum physics, aerospace engineering, and environmental awareness. But the sources reveal that this secular, scientific masking hides some extreme high-control dynamics. Underneath all the talk of tachyon propulsion systems, the group's texts actually harbor rigid eugenic undertones and blatant anti-Semitism, all wrapped up in the archetype of the perfectly pure, blonde, blue-eyed Nordic alien. The control mechanisms here are textbook. The leader claims to be the absolute, exclusive conduit to advanced cosmic truth. So anyone else claiming alien contact is immediately labeled a fraud. They use apocalyptic fearmongering about global destruction to keep members perpetually anxious. The leader's elevated to a supreme, unquestionable prophetic status. And most importantly, any critical thinking or doubt from a member is immediately framed as a spiritual betrayal. It creates this hermetically sealed environment of total exclusivity. Section 2. Dissecting the physical receipts. Let's look at the physical evidence, because this is where things get undeniable. The claim was that Meier photographed a highly advanced 15-foot interstellar craft known as the wedding cake beam ship. But when independent investigators actually did a macroanalysis, the reality is, well, they identified the exact make and model of a commercially available European garbage can lid. And those futuristic decorative spheres on top? They're uncapped Christmas tree ornaments. The mundane reality of a trash can lid resting in a Swiss field tells a completely different story from the interstellar claims. But it wasn't just the spaceships that were fabricated. Meier also presented photographs of beautiful female extraterrestrials named Asket and Nira, supposedly from the Tao universe. But investigators traced these alien photographs directly to a television screen. They were actually Susan Lund and Michelle Delafave, terrestrial dancers from a troupe called the Gold Diggers, performing on a broadcast of The Dean Martin Show. He literally just photographed his TV set. And it gets even more blatant. Meier claimed he time-traveled to prehistoric Earth and took a photograph of a living pterodactyl. In reality, researchers quickly identified the image as a direct photographic copy of an illustration by the famous paleo artist Zdeněk Burian, taken straight from a popular children's dinosaur book. And his other deep space photos? Proven to be slightly altered images taken directly from NASA's Apollo-Soyuz mission archives. So what happens when a group is confronted with incontrovertible proof of fraud? They generate spectacularly convoluted post hoc rationalizations. To explain away the garbage can lid, the organization claimed the aliens tried to telepathically beam the ship's blueprints to scientists, but Earth's garbage can manufacturers intercepted the signals by mistake. I mean, you can't make this up. And to explain the TV dancers, Meier claimed that nefarious men in black infiltrated his house while he had amnesia, stole the real alien photos, and maliciously replaced them with pictures of the Dean Martin Show. It's a wildly transparent example of cultic boundary maintenance. Section 3. The ex-wife's confession. In 1997, the final shoe dropped. Meier's ex-wife, Calliope Zaffirio, provided extensive public confessions. She admitted that he crafted the models in the garage using household detritus, trash can lids, pot lids, carpet tacks. She said, quote, "I personally accompanied him into the fields to hang the models from strings." This was the absolute nail in the coffin for the physical evidence. The myth of the humble, honest farmer was completely shattered. The physical hoaxes weren't some massive misunderstanding. They were a deliberate mechanical operation orchestrated for financial gain and cult adoration over decades. The entire empirical foundation just collapsed. Section 4. The prophecy loophole. Now, the group relies heavily on apocalyptic prophecies, but there is a glaring problem. Meier repeatedly predicted that World War III would begin in 2006, then 2008, then 2010, 2011,
and 2012. As we all know, none of these global catastrophes ever materialized. It's just a rapid-fire sequence of massive, verifiable failures.
And this brilliantly illustrates their internal defense mechanism. When a prediction fails, they use this clever three-step loophole. Step 1, make a terrifying prediction of doom. Step 2, when it inevitably fails to occur, don't admit you were wrong. Step 3, retroactively label it a prophecy that was successfully averted because of the group's peace meditations and absolute loyalty. It's a highly manipulative tactic to hand-wave glaring errors while keeping followers perpetually anxious, yet incredibly grateful to the leader. There's also this huge self-incriminating paradox right at the heart of their theology. According to their own texts, Meier claims to be the reincarnation of an ancient spirit named Nokodomian. The texts actually admit that in past incarnations, this spirit intentionally caused chaos, accelerated evolution too quickly, and straight up lied to followers. Yet the current followers are expected to believe that this time the prophet is telling the complete truth. He literally admits his spiritual lineage weaponizes belief, yet demands implicit trust today. Section 5. The Sunk Cost Fallacy. So, here is the ultimate question that naturally arises after dismantling a house of cards like this. If the spaceships are garbage can lids, the aliens are TV dancers, the prophecies are consistently wrong, and the ex-wife fully confessed, how on earth does anyone still dedicate their life to this? The answer lies right here, in the sunk cost fallacy. This is the core psychological trap that prevents followers from leaving. When you've invested years, maybe decades of your time, your money, and your identity into a belief system, the cognitive dissonance of admitting you were fooled is incredibly painful. The shame is so unbearable that it's actually easier for the human brain to double down and accept the Men in Black excuses than it is to admit the truth. This sunk cost builds into immense structural barriers. Leaving isn't just about changing your mind. It means confronting the loss of a massive life investment. It means losing your entire social network and your tribe. It means facing an epistemological void, a terrifying total collapse of how you understand the universe. And worst of all, researchers point out that high-control groups implant a cult pseudo-identity with toxic beliefs that you are literally incapable of trusting yourself without the leader's guidance. The psychological anchors hold fast long after the empirical truth is exposed. So the crucial point to take away from all this is that debunking Billy Meier is incredibly easy. The physical hoaxes are crude. The textual plagiarism is obvious. Exposing the garbage can lids and the Dean Martin dancers, that's the easy part. The real work is understanding why we believe. What does our willingness to surrender our autonomy to obvious illusions reveal about the profound vulnerabilities of the human mind? It's a powerful reminder that a belief system is rarely just about facts. It's about people, belonging, and purpose. And that is exactly why critical thinking and holding on to our own sovereignty is absolutely vital. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.